Will it burst or won't it? Joining me now to discuss and dissect is Dan Ives, Managing Director of Equity Research at Wedbush. Dan, always good to see you here. So earnings are on tap for Tesla. Now, I'm looking at consensus here. They're looking for Tesla to report a 58-cent per share loss. Let's say Tesla does come out with that. What does the stock do?
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously that would be important relative to S&P 500 inclusion where they need profitability. Look, I think Whisper numbers is about for a 50-cent profit. So right now, I think the P word profitability to me looks very likely, and that's going to be key going forward because that's a win for not just the S&P 500 inclusion, but with the back against the wall, Musk and Fremont deliver, not just on delivery, on profitability. And I view this as just another sort of step forward in the stock, what I believe is going to reach 2,000.
Hi, Dan. I just wanted to ask you about their business mix in terms of geographic location. They've kind of been underemphasized in the U.S. and overemphasized in China. How necessary is that growth story there? And could there be any hiccups? What are the potential roadblocks?
Yeah, China's the hearts and lungs of the story here. I think worth at least $400 a share. Of course, U.S., you've seen demand soften, like the tax credits, as well as just a very tough backdrop. Europe and China front and center going forward. And I think China, it could be 150,000 units first year out in terms of the trajectory. And that's the key. Fundamentally, you look at Giga 3 and everything happening there. That is really the fundamental driver here to what I believe is a Tesla story going forward.
Dan, I'm still hung up on earnings estimates. So this year, the street's looking for Tesla about $4.53 per share for this year. Earnings next year are going to climb, Street says, close to $12. And after that, close to $20 per share. I look at these estimates, and to me, analysts in the market are starting to think Tesla will be dominant, not just within cars, but SUVs. I mean, is that the read here, that Tesla will just dominate the entire auto industry within 3 years?
Well, I think that continues to sort of be what I'll say the battleground, the stock between the bulls and the bears, because you'll compare to what other automakers are trading at. Tesla is not an automaker in terms of the way the street views it. It's a technology player. And right now, if you look at what's starting to get baked into the stock, it's a dominant 80-90% of the EV share going forward for what I believe could be 1 million deliveries by 2022. That's what's getting baked in here. And remember, right now, it's a Teflon-like model if you're seeing everything that Musk and Fremont have done.
Yeah, overnight, Nissan came out with a pretty slick-looking electric SUV called the Aria. Has 300-mile range on a full charge, about $40,000. Looks pretty cool. You have Fisker saying this week it's going to IPO. Is the market discounting this competition? Finally, we've been talking about competition for Tesla for many years, but now it's starting to finally happen. Why doesn't the market care about it?
I think the market cares about it, and you're seeing in terms of some of the valuations, Nikola and some others, obviously Fisker. I think that's a very interesting announcement going after the SUV, really going after Model Y, that 60 to 90,000 number. But it comes down to the competitive moat, Supercharger, Fremont, Giga 3, as well as the Musk brand, the Tesla brand. And that's something that until proven otherwise, right now the street's going to really give Tesla credit for that, because I continue to think they're miles ahead of competitors. And this is all the drum roll to what I believe is going to be a groundbreaker, is the 1 million mile battery that they announced at Battery Day, September 22nd. That's just another further sort of competitive advantage that they continue to, what I believe is front and center.
So just following up on that competitive advantage, what could the competitors really do to catch up at this point? It seems like most of them are playing catch up. You got some smaller companies like NIO, maybe just kind of a fringe. What can they do to catch up?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just going to be resources put in. Look what GM's putting in billions into battery technology. You look at all this investment. Right now, it is an arms race in the EV market. And right now, in terms of, Tesla has, Target on their back. But it comes down to battery technology, distribution, and really being able to build these cars at a point where you can compete with Tesla. But right now, they are on the trajectory to continue to own the market, and that's what's baked into the stock. And that's why if they're able to do it profitably, that's the 1-2 punch that sends the stock north of 2,000.
I'm going to resist myself, Dan, to not ask you about the 1 million mile battery right now, because I do want to get one question on Apple. Earnings are around the bend. What do you expect from the company? Certainly, that's a stock that has been rallying hard off the lows, just like the rest of the FANG stocks.
Yeah, I think by the time we get to year end, could be 2 trillion when I look at Apple.
2 trillion.
Because 2
That
trillion
market
market
cap.
cap by year end. When the ball drops, Times Square, to me, you could be looking at a $2 trillion market cap because this is the two phase. First phase, you're seeing in terms of COVID holding up services business worth 650 billion. Now it's the drum roll to the iPhone 12 super cycle, which will get launched in September, hits the shelves website in October. 350 million of 950 million users worldwide have not upgraded their phone in 3.5 years of Apple users. That's the key. And that's why I think, bull case 525, I think this is a stock, inching on $400. It continues to be one. It's a re-rating story in process in Apple.
Okay, Dan, you know what? I have a little bit of time here. In 30 seconds, the million-mile battery from Tesla, what does that mean? What does that do for range?
I mean, range right now, if you look, the average battery is 500,000 for Tesla. It's going to double it. And it's key for price parity in terms of with traditional automobiles. And this is something where you talk about competitive advantage in terms of everything they've been doing in the lab, not just in gig out in Nevada, but in China. This is the linchpin, and I think the next step in the story.
All right, Dan Ives, dropping a lot of drum rolls here. Million-mile battery from Tesla later this year. Apple, potentially a $2 trillion market cap. That's why we have you on, Dan. You always bring us the good stuff.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Appreciate it.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.